Hello and welcome. This is Carlene. I'm the lead Pullman docent here at Hildene, the Lincoln family home. And this is our Pullman Palace car, Sunbeam. This train car was built by the Pullman Company in 1903 and used for luxury travel in the early 20th century. While Robert Lincoln never traveled on this specific car, he was president of the Pullman Company during the time that Sunbeam was riding the rails. We thought we'd introduce you to Sunbeam to celebrate International Museum Day, and this year's theme, Museums for Equality, Diversity, and Inclusion. Hildene spent many years working to restore Sunbeam, not only to inform our guests about Robert Lincoln's connection to the Pullman Company, but to highlight the lives of the Black porters who worked on palace cars such as Sunbeam. Our exhibit, Many Voices, highlights the paradox of the position of Black porters in the Black community. During the early 1900s, a Pullman porter was considered one of the best jobs available in the Black community, but the worst job in the Pullman Company. The exhibit panels here present different perspectives on luxury rail travel in this period, from the Pullman Corporation to the wealthy rail passengers, and finally, the porters themselves. In this exhibit, we encourage civil discourse while educating our guests about the lives of the porters. We hope our guests engage with this exhibit and leave thinking about how the Black porters connect to our present-day lives. At the end of our exhibit panels, there is a chalkboard for guests to leave their comments or personal stories related to the porters. This is a physical space for reflection and for our guests to join the conversation. After adding comments to the chalkboard, guests then enter Sunbeam through the salon room, where the wealthy passengers would have enjoyed a cocktail or a conversation during their trip. You will then see examples of passenger living quarters, sleeping and dining spaces made from the highest quality materials, Cuban mahogany and Tiffany glass. Each of the sleeping berths in these rooms can recess into the walls when not in use. On luxury rail cars like Sunbeam, there would be 2 Pullman porters to cook, clean, and service up to 18 guests. The porters worked around the clock to keep their guests happy in the hopes of receiving a good tip. Porters were provided a minimal salary, but truly earned a large portion of their income through tips. As time passed, porters gradually formed unions and worked to earn enough money to provide better lives for their families and send their children to receive higher educations. These economic changes led to the rise of the American Black middle class, and porters became an integral part in the civil rights movement. Generations of African Americans were impacted by the actions of the Pullman Company and the hard-working Black porters. Thank you for joining us on International Museum Day. We hope you enjoyed this short tour, and we hope to see you soon at Hildene.